Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam, your guide through the wild world of crypto. If you're new here, stick around because by the end of this, you'll probably want to hit that subscribe button. Let's dive into some serious action shaking up the crypto space, specifically Ripple and its RLUSD stablecoin. Buckle up because this is a story of bold moves, big players, and a vision that's been brewing for years. Ripple's been playing chess while everyone else is stuck on checkers. Think about it. Way back in 2022, they fired the starting gun on the stablecoin race with a post that basically said, "Game on." Fast forward to mid-2024, meetings with the US Treasury Secretary signaled something massive was cooking. And now with RLUSD, Ripple's not just in the game, they're rewriting the rules. You might wonder, why does Ripple always seem 2 steps ahead? It's simple. They've got a knack for seeing the future. Remember those bold predictions from Ripple insiders in 2023? They nailed 2024's biggest trends. Coincidence? Nah, this is strategy at its finest. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Sam, you're just spinning conspiracy theories, or maybe you're speculating, dude. Fair enough. Let's hit rewind. Go back a decade to Ripple's early days, 2012, 2013, 2014. What do we see? A company relentlessly forging ties with hundreds of institutions and global organizations, weaving itself into the fabric of our financial system. Then, boom, December 2024 hits, and RLUSD launches with unmatched utility, experience, and compliance. Some folks shrug and say, a stablecoin doesn't mean squat for XRP. Wrong, dead wrong.
Let me ask you, what have you been doing as a digital asset regulator? And there was a question we got online from Columbia University's Abby Joseph Cohen, who asked specifically about your thinking on consumer protection and digital assets. So big picture digital assets, and then specifically to Professor Cohen's question about the consumer protection, which ties to your worldview.
Yeah. Well, so the digital asset space is such an interesting one, right? Because you hear so much, especially in Washington, prior, right? Don't regulate it because you will legitimize it. And then, sometimes I would talk to my fellow regulators around the country and around the world, and they'd say, well, we don't understand the value of these things. Like, why do they exist? And my view is that that's not really the regulator's role, right? The instruments are here, the products are here, they can do a lot of damage, they need to be well regulated. And so DFS is really the only prudential regulator, right, really active prudential regulator in the country around digital assets. So we have, as you noted, the BIT license. So in order to do virtual currency business in New York, you have to be licensed by DFS. You can do that either through the BIT license or through a limited purpose trust charter. The licensing is an incredibly rigorous process. So for instance, FTX made known that they were seeking a license in New York. They did not get one, nor did Voyager, nor did Celsius, right? Any number of other companies. Then we have full scope examination and supervision. So the same way we examine banks and insurance companies, right? We have a team of examiners. They go in, they examine the companies at regulated interval or regular intervals. They have MRAs and MRIAs, and when we need enforcement actions, and we can talk about that. We've done now, in addition to the regulations, 9 pieces of regulatory guidance. So the only guidance out there on stablecoins is DFS, and has really become the basis for a lot of the bills that's been working their way through Congress. Customer service, blockchain analytics, market fraud, all these things we've done guidance on. And so you see, but this goes back to, I think, the first question, where we have really rigorous standards. It's all very transparent. And then you see that we have responsible companies regulated in New York, and the market there continues to grow in a responsible way. And, no company is perfect, just like banks and insurance companies. We bring enforcement actions, and we've done so with crypto. So we brought a $100 million action against Coinbase. In fact, I brought the first enforcement actions in DFS against crypto companies, even though we've had the authority since 2015. We brought a $100 million action against Coinbase, a $30 million action against Robinhood. Most recently, we had an action against Gemini, where we were able to get over $2 billion in virtual currency back to consumers in the form of restitution. I actually got this lovely note from a gentleman in Ohio saying, thank you for getting my virtual currency back. I'm going to come and spend it in New York. So I sent that to my boss, like, DFS does tourism now. We are a multifaceted regulator. So I think on the consumer protection piece, right, we've got the rules and the guidance on the front end, and then when we need enforcement, we bring enforcement actions, right?
Well, I fear you may need to be a little more on the enforcement side if Washington does a pivot from being heavily on enforcement. I mean, the SEC brought a lot of enforcement cases the last few years, some of which they won, some of which they lost. But if the enforcement officers take a dirt nap and they all get sent home, and some 19-year-old Doge employee just says, you guys go back. Well, you guys may be the last people left standing.
Well, look, I mean, this is the beauty of having transparent rules, is everybody knows what the rules are. You know when you violate them, right? So we don't do regulation by enforcement. The rules are right there for everybody to read and see. The guidances are right there for everybody to read and see. So when we have violations, and by the way, the same cybersecurity regulations that apply to our banks and insurance companies apply to our regulated crypto companies. The same BSA AML regulations that apply to our banks.
Bank Secrecy Act and anti-money laundering, very important in the crypto space.
Those apply to our regulated crypto companies as well. So the rules are right there for everybody to see. So when there are violations, some of them we can deal with in the supervision and examination context through the MRAs and MRIs, the matters requiring attention and matters requiring immediate attention, and make the companies remediate in an exam cycle. Some of those violations require enforcement actions, but for us, it's really important to use all of the tools in our regulatory tool belt so that we're not making regulation by enforcement, that we have transparency. And what we see is our companies will sort of market on the fact that they are regulated by us. It's really become the good housekeeping.
A stablecoin like RLUSD
seal.
doesn't just sit pretty. It turbocharges the network it's built on. That's the XRP ledger. More transactions, more demand, and guess what? That pumps value into XRP, the asset settling those trades. Don't believe me? Let's talk facts. Ripple didn't just slap RLUSD together. They launched it under the New York Department of Financial Services Limited Purpose Trust Company Charter. That's the gold standard of regulation, folks. Brad Garlinghouse himself said it. As the U.S. sharpens its crypto rules, stablecoins like RLUSD, built on trust and real utility, are poised to explode. But wait, there's more. Check out the heavy hitters Ripple's roped into RLUSD's advisory board. We're talking a former Reserve Bank of India governor, the ex-first VP of the Boston Fed, the former FDIC chair Sheila Bair, and Ripple co-founder Chris Larsen. These aren't random names. These are financial titans. And they're all backing the stablecoin. Crazy, right? Now, let's zoom in on March 13th, 2025. Ripple snags the NYDFS Trust Charter license. That's on top of a New York BIT license from way back in 2016, making them the second blockchain firm ever to score one, and nearly 40 money transmitter licenses across the US, plus nods from Singapore and Ireland. Ripple's regulatory trophy case is stacked. Why does this matter? Because the NYDFS isn't just any regulator, it's the benchmark. Superintendent Adrienne Harris recently bragged that their BIT license process is so tough, even FTX couldn't hack it. She also dropped this gem. NYDFS's stablecoin guidelines are shaping bills in Congress right now. Ripple saw this coming miles away. Back in February 2024, they scooped up Standard Custody and Trust Company, nabbing that coveted NYDFS charter. They've been stacking the deck for years, and here's where it gets juicy. Everyone's obsessed with the SEC lawsuit dragging on, but let's zoom out. Ripple's killing it. RLUSD isn't just a stablecoin, it's a weapon for mass adoption. While Tether's losing ground, it's explicitly excluded from US stablecoin regs, Ripple's ready to pounce. The US wants a regulated stablecoin to lead the charge? RLUSD's locked and loaded. And when it takes off, the XRP ledger's gonna light up like Times Square. That means XRP's value? Skyrocketing. So what's the takeaway? Ripple's not just playing the game, they're rewriting it. Stablecoins are the rocket fuel for crypto's next big leap, and Ripple's ahead of the pack. Loved this deep dive? Smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More free insights are coming your way. Follow me on Twitter too. The link's below. This is Sam signing off. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.